All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to this live event where we are cheering on for the kickoff challenge. We're kicking it off. I'm your host, Jasmine Henderson, and I am with Equal Playing Field. I'm super excited to be here. I'm watching the live stream right now with Dina. We are moments away from this incredibly insane, crazy, but amazing journey that is going to take 24 hours that Dina is going to be setting and attempting to break a Guinness World Record of the most penalty kicks in 24 hours. So right now, I'm going to see if I can share the screen with you because she is actually just about to be on her way. So this is amazing. I'm super excited. And let's go ahead and share this so you guys can check out Dina right now as she takes her first kick. And so this is Dina, everybody. She's attempting the most penalty kicks in 24 hours. So you can see there's a keeper there. It's live kicks. And we are off to the races, literally. Wow, this is really, really exciting. So for everybody there, wow, you guys got to see up close just right now the beginnings of what will hopefully be breaking another world record, which is super excited. So if you guys don't know Dina, which maybe most of you who are joining me right now don't know Dina, this is actually will be her 5th world record attempt. So Dina already holds 4 world records, and she's worked in part with Equal Playing Field, and she's incredible. I will give you all the whole rundown on Dina, but this will actually, she's going for her 5th world record, which is super incredible. I'd love to see, I think I can see in the chat, for those of you that are just joining right now, we got to see Dina take her first penalty kicks as she's moving along. And I'm excited. She's in for the long haul. She has to, the official world record right now is 1,005 penalty kicks in 24 hours. But she heard that somebody had already broken that record, something over 2,000 penalty kicks. And so they just haven't turned in the official paperwork. So it's really, really exciting to see because her strategy, if you can believe it, is going to be 100 penalty kicks per hour for the next 24 hours. So we'll see what she does and how she does. We'll be kind of sharing the screen back and forth from that live stream. Part of the parameters for this, because if you've never attempted a Guinness World Record, it's not just like you can go off and do something and say, well, I did it. Hopefully everybody saw it. In fact, you actually have to follow. There are certain rules, certain guidelines that you have to abide by in order for it to actually be counted as a Guinness World Record. So you may hold a world record unofficially, but to have an official Guinness World Record, you got to go through Guinness. So I'm just going to take a little moment right now to go through the parameters, okay? So some of the parameters right now that Dina needs to have the most penalty kicks in 24 hours is that Guinness will actually be getting hourly updates as far as the count. They will also be receiving full recorded videos from 3 different camera angles. And she has to have on site certified referees and judges to submit proof of what she's doing. So just so you guys can have that little bit of context, let me go ahead and share the screen again and show you how she's doing this. So just so you guys know, she is right now currently in Bahrain, 11 hours ahead for those of you that are on the West Coast like me. So let me go ahead and share this again so you guys can take a look. So here is Dina in her world record attempt with actual keepers. And she's got to complete over 2,000 PKs in order for this, in order for that world record to count. As you can see, the keepers are actually, you know, attempting to save it. So I didn't really know what the official rules were going to be, but this is crazy. Actual penalty kicks, and she's got to complete 100 per hour is the goal. So there's just another live view again. There's another live view of Dina just starting off. Again, it's 7 a.m. in Bahrain. Right now, if you're joining me, it is 8 p.m. over here on the coast in LA. So I'm just excited. For those of you that are joining, I hope that you share the link. We are going to be having a couple interviews going on a little bit later. And we're just going to be sharing about why this world record, who is Dina, who is Equal Playing Field. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jasmine Henderson, and I'm actually also a 3-time world record holder, a former professional soccer player. I played professionally in Brazil, and I'm an author and a speaker. And I currently still coach soccer right now. I love the game, and I love it. I can definitely see the comments. So those of you that are joining me right now, like I said, if you've got comments, if you've got questions, going on, feel free to comment, you know, in the box below. I love that interaction. That's what's so cool about being live. And what's incredible about this, just in case for those of you that don't know much about Equal Playing Field, is that Equal Playing Field actually has a network that spans across the entire globe. You'll hear more about Equal Playing Field, but it's in 60 plus countries where they have participants and representation. So over the next 24 hours, not only are you going to get to see that live footage of Dina, just, man, this is only the first hour. So I'm excited to keep bouncing back and forth and see how she's doing. But over the next 24 hours, Dina has partnered with Equal Playing Field again to hopefully smash this world record. As well as provide some really incredible and what we feel tangible information. So Equal Playing Field puts together these really awesome challenges, but it's always for a cause. It's always to bring awareness. Like I said, you'll hear and get to see more about Equal Playing Field a little bit later. But you know, really, what surrounded and from what I understand, was kind of the inspiration behind this world record is, you know, there's a lot of mental toughness when it comes to penalty kicks in general. And that's whether you're on the big stage. And I can't wait to hear from some of the coaches and players about the mental toughness that takes. But also we're very, very well aware about the mental toughness that it's taking to go and work through this pandemic. There's different experiences that are going all throughout the globe. And, you know, what is that mental toughness? So I'm super excited. And I'll show you exactly where to look for the whole schedule for the next 24 hours. And I'm going to read you off some of the names, but man, we've got national and former national players, a whole panel of goalkeepers, which when have you ever heard from an entire panel of goalkeepers? I mean, if you know anything like I do about the keepers that maybe have been on your team, I like to think that they have just one screw that's just a little loose. Goalkeepers tend to be kind of crazy, but just about the mentality going into, as a keeper, that big moment, let alone the player taking that penalty kick. But a lot of that mentality and what Dina's going to be going through, 24 hours of PKs, more than physical toughness, that takes a lot of mental toughness. So we are going to be having a lot of guests that are going to be interviewed and spotlighted throughout the next 24 hours, just so you can get information, whether you're a coach, a parent, a player, or just a fan of the game. We all have our own experiences with mental toughness, and maybe that's you. Maybe right now you're going through an incredible challenge like we all are. This is definitely an unprecedented time in history, and in more ways than one. But I think how amazing, how positive is that Dina said, okay, I'm going to test my physical fortitude and my mental toughness one more time. And I think it's going to be just such an amazing story to those of you maybe out there that maybe feel connected but alone. And so we're gonna get into it. And I already love the cheering that's going on. I can see in the comments of best of luck, Dina, go Dina. And if you're a player, like I said, a player, parent, anything like that, I mean, what would be your questions? We're going to be having some psychologists that are going to be on in the next 24 hours. You know, let me know. Let me know in the comments, you know, what would you want to know from a psychological standpoint, from a sports background standpoint. You're going to be hearing from incredible players and coaches. And so what would be your thing? Or maybe you have your own experience. Be sure to post in the comments below. Just because we can, I want you guys to know. And if you are looking for that link to watch the live feed, I can definitely send that to you guys. But I'm just going to share the screen one more time because I think it's absolutely incredible. And I think Dina is off to just such a great start. So everybody can kind of cheer her on right now. And I almost wish there was a tally mark that could be on the side right now. But as I said, guys, there are certain rules that you have to go through through Guinness. So part of the setup, you can see that there's some ball girls there. You know, there's a keeper. They're just kind of going back and forth. And this is going to be a steady pace throughout the next 24 hours of, you know, just taking shot after shot. If you notice, the keeper is actually moving. And for those of you that maybe had just joined us, she has actually already made a couple saves. So these keepers aren't just standing in the goal. They are actually attempting to save it. And to my knowledge, there are actually about maybe 20 goalkeepers that are going to be featured in this world record. So again, just bringing people together. And so super cool. I love the cheering that's happening because I'm like, you know, soccer player. Hello. So super duper cool. And like I said, guys, this will be Dina's 5th world record. So let me just kind of break that down for you. Is through Equal Playing Field, there have been 4 world records, official Guinness World Records set. The first one was, and I've been a part of 3 of them. And the first one was we actually climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, which is the highest freestanding mountain in Tanzania, Africa. And we played an entire 90-minute soccer game in the crater of Mount Kilimanjaro. It's the highest altitude game ever, now officially by Guinness. And then we also got invited by the Prince of Jordan to travel down to the Dead Sea and then go and set the lowest altitude soccer game ever in Jordan. That one was definitely hot. And then last year, during the Women's World Cup, Equal Playing Field set out to kind of open the game up to both men and women to be able to participate. For the world records in Tanzania, Africa, and in Jordan, we basically focused on an all-woman team, women official FIFA referees, you know, women coaches, and really Equal Playing Field really wants to build that platform for these types of conversations about women equalities in sports, about the opportunity, equality, and respect. And so again, you guys will get to hear a little bit more about that coming up throughout this hour. But yeah, so Dina was a part of both of those. The 3rd world record, like I said, they opened it up during the Women's World Cup, where no matter your age or your gender, you could participate. And so then we broke actually the world record for the biggest 5-a-side game ever, which spanned 4 days. And we had 807 participants in 60+ countries that were represented in last year's world record. At that same time, they also did set the world record for the most countries represented in a single game, which was really incredible. And so those are the 4 world records that Equal Playing Field has and Dina has as well. And now Dina's partnering with Equal Playing Field again to set this world record. So it's super cool. So one of the questions that I see is how many goals should she score to get the world record? So that's a great question. Right now, as I stated before, the world record officially is 1,005 world records, penalty kicks. But there's Dina did some research and heard that there's another person who did over 2,000 penalty kicks, but they just haven't submitted the paperwork. Like I said, there's actual official videos and things that you need to submit in order for it to be counted. So to be on the safe side, Dina is attempting to do 100 penalty kicks per hour for 24 hours. Okay, so I definitely have some stories with Dina that I'll be sharing. But to say that this is totally up her alley, it is an understatement. So I'd love to hear from you guys. How many penalty kicks do you think you could do? As you can see, the keepers are moving side to side. It's really, really cool. So just to give you guys a little bit of kind of like a setup for what we're going to be doing tonight. Obviously, we got to see Dina take a couple of those first penalty kicks, and our plan is that hopefully at the bottom of the hour she'll be able to run on over and say hi to everybody, and be able to say something at the bottom of the hour. Now, in between, it's going to be really cool because we're going to have an opportunity to hear from some coaches and about mental toughness and what their experience has been. Some coaches that, whether they coach women or maybe they have either played in or are coaching in areas that access to different things are kind of a challenge. Equal Playing Field does a lot of work, especially for countries and cities and places where women simply don't have access to sports, and they don't have the proper equipment and facilities needed for that. So we'll get to hear from some coaches. We'll also have, a player who has definitely gone through her own run of the mill as far as mental toughness, and just to hear from them. What are you excited about seeing for Dina? What do you think that this is? How is this going to propel you forward potentially in what you have? And then we're also, for those of you that maybe this is your first time being exposed to Equal Playing Field, you'll also get a little bit of a taste. Who is Equal Playing Field? What do they do? What does this even look like? When I first got introduced to Equal Playing Field, it was on the verge of coordinating the very first world record that we did. And so you guys will get to see some of that as well. If you have, I'm just going to put it out there. If you've got an incredible penalty kick story, please, 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 please take the time and leave it in the comments so I can share it live with everybody. I definitely have one that I'm going to share as well. But yeah, so first of all, what I want to start with is why all the world records. Okay, for any of you that have gone after any goal, you always have to start with why. Okay, so in a moment, I'm going to hopefully be able to share this video with you guys that really kind of kicks off, and Dina's in this video as well. And hopefully we'll kind of kick off and give you just a little bit of an insight as far as to why would we do this? And like I said, what would be the point of doing all these world records? So I'm going to go ahead and play this video. That's by Equal Playing Field, just so you guys can get a little bit of a taste.
The playing field is not equal. Women and girls face many mountains every day just to play the sport they love. No girl should ever lose out because she is a girl. We've experienced great joy as players, coaches, and referees. We have become better, stronger, and more confident through football. We are the grassroots and we are the elite. Our stories are real. We are ready to fight, but we'd rather team up. We call on you to open doors for women and girls. Invest in us. We call on you to treat us as equals. Don't tell us, not yet, not now. We call on you to show us the respect we deserve. Celebrate and profile female athletes. Opportunity, equality, and respect. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's achieve an equal playing field together.
Amazing. So let me know, give me some feedback. Oh, I love it. Yeah, that footage definitely is unreal. Every time I see it, I'm just like, did we really do that? And I'd love to know from those of you that are out there, you know, if somebody were to ask you, you know, who's the crazy one, would that be you? What's really cool and what I love about Dina is she's definitely one of the crazy ones, but the coolest thing, and I think the best thing about Equal Playing Field is you don't feel alone in your craziness. So if you are one of those crazy ones, you know, let me know in the comments. If anything, that was something that was really, really amazing about being involved with Equal Playing Field was I just felt like, wow, I have an entire sisterhood that is with me, that is like me, a place where I really belong. And sometimes we can think, oh, you know, so many people can call us crazy. And that's a bit of that mental toughness as well, right? To be yourself. And no matter what people say about you. And it's really amazing what can happen where, like we said, we could be in this fight, but we'd rather come together. And so that's what I think everybody has that opportunity, even right now, if this is your first kind of touch point with Equal Playing Field, is that we can all find a home together. We can all share in this together, you know, and call us the crazy ones, because it's the crazy ones who think they can change the world that actually do. So if that's you, if you're a crazy one, trust me, we'd love for you to join us on the Equal Playing Field kind of on this journey, because it's really amazing. So just to let you guys know a little bit about Dina, she's really incredible. So she actually has a bit of a really cool background. For those of you that maybe want to read the full article, you can go to FIFA.com, and they did a great article on Dina. And you can just go to FIFA.com, and in the search, you can just put Deena, Deena, and this really incredible article about Dina and her whole journey is available for you guys. And so she has an incredible background of having her roots starting in England, playing for the England national team, also playing for Fulham. And then when she went to Egypt, she actually met her now husband there, and just opened her up to a completely different side in Bahrain, Egypt. And so it's been really cool to just see her journey of the strides that they've been able to make in Egypt, because, you know, of somebody who just has that passion, something that she started a women's league down there to where they've got anywhere from 4 to 12 teams that are competing in there. Their girls, you know, program for Techers, which is their club down there in Bahrain, is just grown to almost, I think, 200 young girls that they service now. And so this is, you know, for those of you that love football, that love soccer, it's so cool to see what you can do, not just while you're playing it when you're younger, but then beyond the pitch, beyond the field, and even as you get older. And so right now I'm just going to flash back to Dina. I don't know, for those of you that are kind of like me, maybe you want to, like I said, I just like kind of seeing the progress. So let me see if I can get this share back on for you guys, so you guys can check her out, and let's just check on her and see how we're doing. Awesome. So she's well in. She's looking really great. I don't know about those ball girls though. Those ball girls are like, what are we doing? Oh, there we go. We got to pass out. They're doing an excellent job. And so probably not having a ball in the back of the net is one of the requirements. All right, cool. So right now, guys, and oh, of course, how could I forget? One more really cool fun fact about Dina is that she now plays for Bahrain's national team, which is just incredible. So she plays in tournaments with them, again, all over the world. And so that's why it's a huge passion for her to just be involved in a lot of things that just give that platform for women's sports. And so right now, guys, we are going to have our first guest on with us. Okay. Her name is Zoe, and she's incredible. She's 16. She's a junior, and she actually plays for a high school in Burbank. She's a winger. She's a striker, and had an incredible pleasure getting to know this young woman as she's going through her life of soccer. So everybody, let's welcome Zoe. And hopefully we'll get her on there on the split screen. Zoe, can you hear us? Or hear me, I guess. Seem to have just a little bit of difficulty. All right, let's try it one more time. Okay, we got her on. Let's try. There we go.
Hi, Jasmine.
Yay, we made it on. Oh my gosh, like we're totally matching right now.
Yeah.
All right, a little blue and blue. And for those of you that don't know, like I said, this is actually the jersey that we had for Equal Playing Field as we were up on the mountain. So hopefully, Zoe, I don't know how well your internet connect. There we go. Now we got you live. So Zoe, I know that we've had a talk. I know that you're getting back on the mend just with your knee and going through a lot of physical therapy and stuff like that right now. But can you hear me okay right now?
No, I can't.
That's all right. All right, I think we're having some problem with maybe the internet connection. And that's okay. These things happen. All right. Well, hopefully we can get Zoe back on. Like I said, she's an incredible player. Going through, I know a lot of us have, or let me know maybe in the chat box, if you've ever gone through a serious injury and have had to exhibit some some of that mental toughness and fortitude that we're talking about. Let's see. It seems like we're maybe having some problem. Let me go ahead and remove, and maybe we'll try again in just a little bit. Okay. All right. So hopefully Zoe will be able to join us. But like I said, for those of you, and that's what I just wanted her to be able to share with you guys, just that bit of mental toughness of going through a major injury. I know I definitely have torn both of my ACLs. I've, had an ankle injury when I went and played in Brazil, and broke my foot sophomore year in 2 different places and was out for 2 months. So I've definitely had those injuries and stuff like that. And it's definitely made me mentally tough in other areas of my life just by going through that. So Zoe's joined back on. And so hopefully the connection will be good enough to where we can hear from Zoe.
Hi, can you hear me?
There we go. I'm like, because now you're not frozen and stuck, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Zoe, I was just sharing with some people that are watching right now, just how you've had to really work on that mental toughness of your game right now, because you're going through a really serious injury. That's just been taking some time. So for you, just with Dina going after this world record, you're a junior, you're looking at your, soccer career, as we say. And, what gets you excited about this world record?
Okay, so it's super empowering, first of all. I mean, anytime you see a female elevating, that's empowering. So like to think who set these records, probably a man. And then to look at who's breaking them, like look at who's excelling past the status quo. It's really inspiring. And for me, probably anyone, it's inspiring to see someone who looks like you kind of winning in their field. So I think that helps me kind of visualize myself reaching those goals. So it's really empowering for me.
Nice. That's really cool. And I totally understand when you think of like, oh, to see somebody like me and to see somebody kind of achieve something really incredible, then it just can definitely lend to that imagination and that kind of creativity of like, wow, what can I do? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
How can I go for it? So I know that you personally have been going through just kind of this saga, if I will, of your injury. But what would you say? What do you see most players struggle with? So, obviously you've had your own struggles, but what do you think other young players like yourself, even whether it's now through the pandemic or just in general, what do you see other young women on your team really struggle with mentally?
I think that's going to have to be patience. I think, especially as like a young person, you don't have as much perspective and like experience on things. So I think definitely patience is something that's hard to learn. And like, obviously mentality is like the most important part of a sport or any kind of competition like setting. So I think for soccer, like mentality is being able to visualize yourself succeeding at something. So I think when you have to wait for that, it's really hard to see. So I think just learning patience is something that a lot of players struggle with.
Yeah, that is so true, because I know that was me as a younger player. Just why am I not there yet? Or you keep working at it, and it's that I like to call that kind of like an aggressive patience, right? Where you're aggressive with the work habit, but patient with the results.
Yeah.
And it's really hard because you can't see 5-10 years down the road to say, okay, the work that I'm putting in now, I can be patient. And so even as a junior, do you feel like there's maybe kind of added pressure mentally and stuff like that, especially, everybody's always like, what are you going to do after high school? And it's like, I feel like kids these days are kind of asked that question younger and younger. So I know that junior year isn't the first time you've heard that question. But if you could just kind of, just describe like what is, what are kind of maybe some of those mental struggles in that aspect? And maybe too, like, how is soccer, do you feel, if soccer is kind of preparing you to kind of handle that?
Yeah, so for sure. I think that like it's a struggle to wait for things, like I said. And like obviously, like you said, you can't see the future. And it's hard, especially being a junior. There's so much added pressure because it's like you said, it's what are you going to do after this? And not being able to compete in your sport junior year or for seniors, like that's your last chance to be seen. And that could change the course of your life. So like waiting, and also like you said, not just passively waiting, but working while you're waiting. It can be hard because you don't see the results, and it might seem impossible now, especially when you're not being seen. And then I think soccer is definitely helping me learn a lot of skills, especially like learning on the fly. I think that's something that soccer players have to be able to do. And I play offense in soccer, so I'm super offensive minded, and like I want to get out there and score. But I think you learn not to beat yourself up when you make mistakes, and just being able to learn from mistakes. I think soccer has definitely helped in that area.
Yeah. So well said. Like, I give it up for Zoe. Holy moly. I'm like, this is such good stuff. And, you know, and if I can impart, you know, one thing to you is exactly that of, you know, as a person who tried to have everything planned, you know, being patient and like you said, being okay to, you know, to risk something or to make a mistake and to be like, all right, that's okay. Let's pick myself up, you know, even if that's whatever's next after high school, to know that it's all okay. You know, it's all okay. And, you know, it's just the ebb and flow of the game of your life. But I say, you know, at least you're not sitting on the sidelines. Could you imagine like sitting on the sidelines of your life or like being benched on, like, you know, in your own, you know, in your own game of life, you know, but unfortunately, and that's hopefully anybody who's on here who maybe feels that way, who feels like they're on the sideline, whether it's because of the pandemic or because of personal struggles, physical struggles, whatever it is, you feel like you're on the sideline or you're on the bench and, you know, you feel like you're maybe not moving or competing, you know, to get in the game, you know, get in the game. And like you said, Zoe, I think I really feel for your generation and your group because this is uncharted territory and nobody really knows what that next step is going to be for you guys as you're looking to play beyond. But how do you get seen? And then how do you, you know, how do you kind of progress? But I fully believe, though, that, you know, nothing happens by accident. And I think with the mentality that you already have, I think it's going to be really powerful for you moving forward. So what would you say? Like, what would you, it's okay, two-parter. Okay. What would you want to say for Dina? Okay. To give her a message, because trust me, she's in hour 1 right now. And, you know, if you could be her coach on the sideline or cheering her on or something, what would you want to say for Dina?
Okay. I think I would want to say kind of what you were just mentioning about how everything happens for a reason and just how everything she's worked for and everything that she has lived is kind of leading up to this moment. And like she put in the work. So like now it's just time to enjoy.
Guys, I hope you're listening to Zoe right here, okay? Because I'm like, she's coming with some knowledge right now. Stop and smell the roses. Enjoy the victory. I love it. And so last thing, for any other maybe players out there that are like you, going through what you're going through, and maybe even for some of the adults, you know, that are out there trying to make it, what maybe piece of encouragement would you have for them?
Okay, let me think for a second. I think I would say stop using the word failure to describe like necessary plot points in the process. And like when it comes to staying motivated through these like difficult points, remember and acknowledge that they're necessary and that they're going to pay off to good things.
Come on. That's like drop the mic right there. Zoe, you are absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
I I hope that you know that. I'm so, so, so grateful. Guys, just so you know, Zoe had no idea what I was going to ask. This was all right, just straight from her heart. And from my heart to yours, Zoe, thank you so, so, so much for joining us. And I hope that everybody out there, you really listen to and take heed to Zoe's advice. You know, I love that the failures, they're just plot points. So, you know, and they're just turning you to that next best thing that's for your life. So the best is still yet to come, everybody. Zoe, thank you. I can't wait to catch up some more with you, you know, off live streaming. But you're amazing. And thank you for just sharing your heart and sharing your knowledge.
Thank you so much for having me. Good luck, Zena.
I know. Bye, girl.
Bye.
All right, guys. This is just so incredible. I love it. Comment below says, how are you still in high school? So eloquent, so on it. You know, can't wait to see you in our next world record. And absolutely, Zoe, more than welcome. I'm like, I just got goosebumps right now. I just got goosebumps right now. So, and this is what this is all about. You know, giving that voice to that next generation, generations below, above and below, to just have that place to really share their heart, share what matters. And I think if these conversations happen more, imagine where we could go with that. You know, imagine the health of not only our mental health, but, you know, just as a society, when we share these ideas and share this encouragement. So super, incredibly amazing. And so last thing, before we get into our next interview, guys. Okay, so I'm really excited about the next interview that we're going to be doing. It's now we heard from a player, then we're going to get to hear from a coach and their perspective. But before we do that, I wanted to just really share, like I said, about these world records. Equal Playing Field does an incredible job, like I said, of putting together just incredible people that come from totally opposite parts of the world. But they have this incredible talent because of their big vision, you know, and why they want to bring people together, women together, to just do something bigger. You know, they say, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go farther, go together. So Equal Playing Field has done such an incredible job with that. And so right now, actually, I'm actually going to show another video about just why. Why is Equal Playing Field wanting to provide this incredible platform for women? So here is an incredible video. Let's go ahead. Let's see. Have this available.
Women's sports.
And hang on a second. You guys are being amazing. This is my my first time. There we go. Using this YouTube live. So thank you guys. And here's the video. Enjoy.
Women's sport shouldn't be an afterthought. It shouldn't be a bracket women's every time we want to play. There's too few women that play sports. There's too few women who think it's even a remote possibility in their life. If you want to play football, you have to face many, many, many challenges. Support from governments. We were always at the back of the line when it came to good pitches or kit or money. Even if they can't play, they don't earn any money. Been to World Cups and Olympics and haven't been paid enough to just make that my livelihood. It's still 80% to men and 20% to women. And that's awful. You can't find stories about women in the sports pages. So where are the role models for the girls growing up? Where are my heroes? I want to read about my heroes.
I just want to reach a place where everybody is free to be who they want to be and what they want to be. Because why not?
I want to see every single girl in the whole world plays football because she can. Why are we still talking about this stuff? I just want to play football. I just want to play. I was like, oh yeah, sport, women's sports development, great. Equality in sports, love it. You're doing what?
I'm going up this mountain because of all the women in my country and in other countries that they don't have the possibility to play football because they won't let them.
So many people told me no.
you cannot do this. This is impossible. Why are you even bothering? Why even try?
I'm climbing this mountain to prove that we can do anything we want, and so that the next generation of women coming through won't have to experience the things that we have.
Climbing Kilimanjaro is something tangible for these girls to just see and start playing football. You have to outplay, outperform, outdeliver, outwork anybody as a female athlete to be considered remotely in the same field. So to tell a group of women that they need to go to climb to the top of the highest potential full-size pitch on the planet to prove to the rest of the world that they deserve to be treated as equals on an athletic pitch, no one can question that. It's not a women's game up there. It's like, can you play elite level football at the highest point on earth? Yeah, we can do that.
And that's why we're women. And that's why we're doing what we're doing. And that's why we're strong.
Amazing, amazing. Those are my ladies. Those are my women. All right, cool, guys. So again, that's why, you know, that's a little bit more about equal playing field and why we're doing what we're doing. Because stories like this, even like stories of what Dean is doing right now, you know, setting, you know, attempting to break another world record. It just should be celebrated and news that should be shared, whether it's a man or a woman, just something that's cool, something that's positive that's going out. All right, guys. So we are almost ending this hour right now, but stay tuned, guys, because listen, we're going to get Dina at the end. I've got an incredible coach that's going to be coming on right now. And we get to hear from another player from that next generation, guys, that's coming out, who's actually a goalkeeper. So we heard from a striker's point of view. Now we're going to get to hear a little bit from a goalkeeper's view as well. But right now, guys, if you could help me welcome, we've got Coach Kevin Holmes. Here we go. And let me make sure he's not muted. There we go. Kevin.
You're in the show. Okay. What's up?
There we go. All right. You're in. You're in. All right, everybody. So this is Kevin Holmes, really great friend of mine. He's another fellow coach in Southern California. He's got a great background, a great heart. He currently coaches women, or well, I should say young women at the high school level for a club in the South Bay. And so Kevin, just kind of introduce yourself a little bit, like just as far as what got you coaching. And, you know, you and I have had many conversations about the mental game of football. So just kind of give your background a little bit of where you're from and also too, why you decided that you wanted to coach young women.
All right. If we do that, I think we would be here all night. To introduce myself. All right. So I hail from Jamaica originally. I hail from Jamaica, and I got scholarships to play on the East Coast. When I came here to California, I worked with the Galaxy on the front office, ticket sales, marketing, and stuff like that. And I remember when one of my coworkers, I saw him going to practices. So I asked him, I said, dude, how can you work in the office and practice at the same time? Because I used to coach while in college, right? Once you're in college, the soccer coaches always ask who wants to come to our clinics, and we would be assistant coaches for college coaches. So I would be a little assistant coach, right? And I remember they asked everyone to run a session, right? So I remember sessions that I did in high school, right? Because I really liked my high school coach, right? He always taught us, you know, mind over matter, right? Progress, not perfection. He always has something clever to teach us, right? Yeah. And I said, whenever I did that session, you know, I kept on thinking about everything that he taught to us. And one of the college coaches came over and he's like, "Have you done this before?" I was like, "Nope, I just did everything my high school coach did," right? I just remember everything that he said, right? And that's kind of like what kick-started me. And in college, I did coach for like a local high school. And I think it was the first time I coached a co-ed team, right? And I never knew that you could have a co-ed team. So it was literally boys and girls together at like younger age,
Yeah,
right? And some of these girls, I would be so amazed. I literally still talk to this one called Emily, because she's now playing club, going on to, and she still messaged me today. Say, hey, Kev, like, you're one of the greatest coaches I've ever had. I was like, that's the first time I ever coached any girl your age, because I'm always nervous, right? I don't want to say anything to offend them or anything like that, then to turn out that girls are literally more aggressive than boys. I did not know this, right? Girls do not like when you treat them like they're soft. Like, coach, why you treat me like that guy? I'm like, all right, no problem. So I kind of like changed my whole perspective. Then once I moved here, and as I said, I asked the guy how comes he could coach and work in the office at the same time, and he said the hours are hard, right? So when I left the Galaxy, the first thing I did was reach out to Galaxy South Bay, because I used to work with those guys on the business side. So I said, hey, it would be great if I could coach with you guys. So they looked at me and they was like, there's no opening right now. And the director of that club came to me and he's like, at the high school, South High, if you want, we would definitely bring you in to coach the Fresh Soft girls. I froze, because now I'm thinking, I was like, I've never coached a full girls team before. I don't know if I could do it. So I was freaking out, because in my head I was like, you need a girl to coach the girls, right? Because they're going to relate to the female coach, right? And then that's when I found out that there's not very many female coaches, and I was like, why? No, we need female coaches, right? So I went in, you know, these girls saw me, introduced myself. The first thing they was like, oh my God, your accent is so cool. I was like, all right, we have a breakthrough, right? But I used to have to keep on repeating everything over and over again, because my accent was really thick. And they're like, what do you say? What do you say? And I was like, girls, you can always ask me to repeat, because my accent is thick. So just ask me to repeat, and I'll definitely slow down and repeat it. So that was my first experience coaching girls. And I remember Emily from Notre Dame High in Pennsylvania, when she said to me, Kevin, do not treat me like a child. Right? Just, you know, treat me like everybody else. And that's what I went into. You know, that's the exact type of mentality I went into. And here's the worst thing that I did, and I'll tell this story. Right? One of the players that literally stayed with me until she graduated, right? Aubrey. Right? I was at practice on Aubrey. She was just going through the motion. And I think I learned my lesson when I did this. I said, Aubrey, go run a lap. Right? So when I did that, Aubrey was she was pissed off at me. She was mad at me. Like, she was so mad because I singled her out.
Sure.
Right? And she literally wasn't talking to me. And then a lot of the other girls was like, I can't believe he did that to. So I was like, what did I just do? So I remember I asked the girls a lot of the questions, and the girls were like, hey, like, you singled her out. Like, you should never do that to a girl. And I was like, oh, for real? So I was just thinking about boys, you just say, hey, go run a lap.
Sure.
The boys run a lap, come back, and then it's a whole different story. And then I start to understand that, you know, the girls internalize, why did he let me run that lap when other people were doing so? So I learned from that.
Yeah.
Right? To never, ever do that anymore, because you're going to lose her, then you're going to lose the other girls. Right? So I had to tap into my psych background, because that's what I actually did. Right? I studied psychology. Then I went on to my master's in sports psychology to understand not just myself, but athletes more. So I wanted to work with athletes. Right. So right there, I started to now put my psychology into play. And that's when I started to know, individually started to get to know each girl. Right. What are their likes and dislikes? Right. And then the biggest pattern that I saw was how much girls, if they do something and they make a mistake, they'll internalize and stay with that mistake through everything else. Right? So I was like, all right, girls, let's not focus on the mistake. Let's start thinking positive now. If you made that shot and it went 10 miles over the goal, all right, that's all right. How did you take that shot? Right? Was it the right technique? Were you leaning backwards? Was your ankle pointing in the air? So I had to learn about the individual in order to coach everybody. Right? I couldn't treat one girl like the next girl.
Yep. And you know, as I do is like, you know, that's something that's so key about coaching, you know, and, you know, I'm excited because we do have a whole coaches panel that's going to be going on tomorrow. But to your point, though, it's so right. There's not a lot of female coaches. And also, too, like you said, what you started learning, though, about just the psychology and how, it's really about building that relationship with each individual player. And so my question then, to you is kind of like maybe that same question that I asked Zoe, and maybe from a coach's perspective, maybe it's a different question, but I want to ask you this question. And then I'm going to bring the next player on. But for you, is what do you see is the biggest struggle that players have mentally in the game?
Mentally?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I hear you talk about mental toughness, right? And at Springfield College, we learned about mental toughness. Then we also learned about mental flexibility, right? So mental toughness is the ability to get a kick and then you just kind of like just tough it out through that kick, right? So mental flexibility is that you keep on getting kicked over and over and over again, and then all of a sudden you twisted your ankle. Yeah. Right. So how could we now get that mental flexibility to now start thinking about, all right, the ankle is twisted, this and that. How can I now overcome and contribute in some other way? Right. So I figure like today there's so much going on in society that I think at the young age they probably hear so much negative, right? And they don't hear enough positive.
Sure.
Right? Like I did something with Up to Us. And they were talking about girls in sports and how to keep girls in sports. And a lot of it had to do with the coaches and how the girls or even boys are really negative. Right. So if they make a mistake, they stick with that mistake.
Right.
It's always that mistake. And then it comes to the point where when girls don't see a lot of role models, as Zoe said, right, they tend to not want to pursue because, I don't see somebody doing it that looks like me.
Yeah, sure. And then there goes another negative, right?
Correct. And then there's another negative for them. So with my girls, I always tell them, listen, because I grew up, my grandmother, she was the mayor, right? I grew up around nothing but powerful women, period. Right. So when I hear one of my girls say, "Oh, coach, I can't," I was like, "You can't? Like, really? If you can't, that means you can't play for me. Then if you can't, right? Everybody who plays here has to be I can, right? Or I will, right? There's no I can't, right?
I love that.
Right? So I think that's the big issue for we internalize the negative.
Yeah, and to hold on to it, and then, like you said, instead of having that flexibility. And so, I just really quickly, you are amazing. I just got word that within this first hour, guys, Dina has taken 350 penalty kicks.
Right? No, you just said 100 an hour.
Yeah, she said 100. I mean, this is so Dina, guys. Okay, so just really quickly, Kevin, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take us, live to Dina. Thank you so much. I know that you've got a lot to say, and we didn't have a lot of time to really dive into it.
I enjoyed listening to Zoe. I promise, like that was brilliant. I want a lot of Zoes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. But I want to thank you for that, because I think that the biggest takeaway that I think that I'm taking from this conversation is, one, like you said, that idea of women coaches, and that there gets to be more female coaches represented. You and I have talked about that a lot, but I think you just totally encapsulated, for a lot of young players, what that mental issue is, right? Of that, just not being able to let go of a mistake.
I'll give one thing before we leave is this. For any players listening right now, for every one negative, find 2 to 3 positives. And I guarantee you, every time that one negative pops in your head, you'll remember those 2 or 3 positive. Be like, why am I dwelling on that?
Yeah.
I can do that.
Flush it out. I love it. You're like,
just flush it out. Just flush it out. Just flush it out. Shake it out. Yeah.
Well, Kevin, thank you so much. And I'll be seeing you on the trail. I already know. All right. Bye, Kevin.
Later.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna bring our last guest up. And I love it. I'm getting a little extra 10 minutes. I do just want to take us really, really quickly over to Dina, just so we can check her out and what she's doing, how she's maybe going on after this first hour. This is so cool. All right. So as you guys can see, there's already a keeper change that's happened. and the next keeper is in it. And this is just super, super cool. So she's probably maybe just taking a little bit of a break before she starts this this next set, this next hour. But super duper cool. She'll be getting into it. You can see that smile, thumbs up from Dina. Absolutely incredible. All right, I think she's about to get started again. All right, guys. So that being said, we are going to have our next guest come on. Like I said, we'd had the player who's more of an offensive minded, and we've had the coach mentality. Now we're going to hear from a goalkeeper. Okay, now this, like I said, goalkeepers are awesome. I like to think I cannot wait to bring her on. She's super cool. Her name is BB, guys. Let's give a warm welcome to BB.
Hey, everyone.
Awesome. All right, BB. All right, cool. So we're starting on the next hour. First hour is in the bag. But BB, thank you so much for joining us on the first hour of this like incredible world record, which is really, really cool. So thank you for taking the time. I know you had training, right?
Yeah, I just came back from soccer practice right now. And thank you for giving me this great opportunity. I love to speak on things, especially with soccer, and this is wonderful to talk about. Thank you.
Yeah, well, of course. So, BB, again, just let everybody know like how old you are, what your position is, and where you play.
All right. Well, I'm 15 years old. My name is BB. I play goalkeeper, but I do like to play other positions as well. You know, I like to be versatile in my sport. So, yeah. I'm currently playing with Tudela FC in Hollywood. Shout out to them. Those are my girls over there. And then, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, are you a sophomore?
Yes, I am a sophomore.
Awesome. That's super cool. So, I mean, let's just get into it because obviously, I think when I think of PKs, like I as a field player, I'm always thinking of the field player, but I've definitely been in that goalie position before. And it takes like a whole nother mental space to be a goalkeeper. So just kind of maybe describe for us, like maybe what your first experience with PKs, like what was that like? Like, were you really scared? Were you excited? Like, if you can remember, what was that like for you?
All right. Well, I've been playing goalkeeper since I was 7 years old, so it's always that repetition. Yeah. I was a young girl. I didn't have fear, so that's a blessing of mine. Like I was always fearless. I wasn't afraid of a ball. I knew it'll hurt for a little bit, but I got it the next minute. You know, just shake it off and keep it going. But the thing with goalkeepers, we, like how Coach Kevin had said earlier, we tend to hold mistakes onto us, and we let that hold over for the rest of the game. It could be a little mistake for a goal, or like a really big mistake, like, oh, it was unsavable, because those are real goals. We can't save everything, you know, but it's just giving it your all really matters. And just knowing all the training you put in, don't forget who you are when you're in the goal as a goalkeeper, you know. I've been training since I was 7 years old, you know, 8 years. I know how to do it. And just reading techniques and just staying focused and watch the ball. You know, that's like the biggest thing for goalkeepers. Watch the ball. Don't watch the player, watch the ball.
I was gonna say, so like, do you have like a PK ritual that you do, or like something that you tell yourself?
Yeah, so I always look at the girl. I don't watch the girl, I watch the ball, because hips do lie when it comes to shooting and all that stuff. Don't believe that, you know? So
you're like, whatever, Shakira, not today.
Yeah, exactly. So I usually watch the ball, and when the ref blows the whistle, as I see her running up to the ball, I take a step forward, because when you're closer, it closes down the angle so you get a better chance. And that technique I kind of learned on my own as well, but my coaches had let me know, make sure to do that. Another thing, be on your toes. Don't be on your heels, and be on your toes at the very edge of the line. Just like those minor little details can help you in a long way, because the odds are against you with goalkeepers in PKs. You know, they're right there, and you're in the goal with so much space. So those little minor things do help a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and before PKs, you know, I kind of like not show off, but just know I'm ready for you. Are you ready for me? So I'm taking my hands. I'm on my toes. I'm looking at her. I'm making sure she's scared, and she knows that this is my goal I'm trying to protect. I'm not just letting her score, you know?
Yeah, you're like, so, this is mine. You're in my territory right now.
Exactly.
So you know?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. Well, and I think, like I said, you know, keepers, they kind of have to kind of be that fearless, or like I said, I mean, I remember some of the best keepers that played on my team. Some of them, man, they got, you know, they just got a little screw loose. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they're just like just a little bit crazy, but in the best of ways. Like, but you want that crazy, like you know, when you're behind, you know, defending the goal and stuff like that. So like I know that you said that Coach Kevin had some great insight as far as, you know, kind of locking into that that kind of struggle of keeping those mistakes. But you know, even beyond that, as far as like, you know, would you say that that's the main thing that you see players your age struggle with? Or would you say that like, you know, that maybe it's something else, just something that you've seen players struggle with? And it could even be now, you know, during on the field, or it could be off the field. Like, what do you see players struggle with the most mentally?
Mentally, I would definitely say self-confidence and holding mistakes against you, you know? Mm-hmm. You know, as people, we're not perfect on the field or off the field.
Right.
And being able to have self-confidence does help a lot. You know, with me, a goal might be scored on me, but I know I got the next one. Stay motivated, you know? Motivation does help me a lot as well as a goalkeeper. Just know in the long run, this is all going to pay off, because I do believe hard work does get you blessings at the end.
Yeah. And so like, would you have described yourself as confident maybe like 5 years ago?
Not as much, but definitely like it was a starting place, you know? Yeah. I just knew, like, I kind of I had the idea you have to show some kind of confidence or toughness to be great at what you do or what you want to do.
Sure. Yeah. And so like what would you say kind of helped build your confidence?
Well, with me, talking with my parents, practice, and for me personally, it is talking with God. I know everyone has their own different ways to cope, and I'm not saying it's wrong, and I think it's whatever you do is the best. For me, it's always been prayer and just being confident. Just know I'm here. I have this gift. Let me use it. You know?
Got it. So like, what would you want to like encourage for anybody else who's out there who maybe they're not feeling as confident, and you know, so maybe, because I know sometimes when we hold that negative, those negative like mistakes in, then it's also hard to be confident, right? Yeah. If you're always like, oh man, I didn't do it right, da 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 da, and we kind of like beat ourselves up a little bit. So maybe what would you kind of like reach out to, you know, somebody who maybe on the field or off the field maybe is kind of struggling with confidence? What would you say to them?
Well, I would tell them to reflect on what's making them lose their confidence. Find that point that really makes you feel comfortable. You know, what's making you feel unconfident, right? So I tell them to look about that and then work on it. Try to improve it, you know. Don't let that issue stay with you, you know. Try to change it so there's no longer an issue within that realm.
Right.
Taking an extra step, you know, and just wanting to take that extra step. That's another thing with confidence. And I feel like keeping the right people around you definitely does help with confidence. People to uplift you when you shouldn't be uplifted, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, and it's kind of hard now because like all of our association is digital right now, you know? It's digital in the way that we connect. But I think that that's super true, is like, you know, if you're struggling with confidence, what's around you? You know, are you looking at things, you know, whether it's, you know, on social media or whatever? Are you looking at things that's kind of like deflating you, or things that are empowering you? And when you're talking to friends, do you have friends around you that do kind of put you down or kind of always point out your mistakes? Or are you around people who kind of build you up? And so I think that that's a great point, especially in this time where we can very easily kind of filter who we're listening to right now, you know, just to kind of build up that confidence. And then, like you said, I think the biggest takeaway I'm taking away from you, Bibi, is don't let those negative things define you.
Yes.
You know, when you keep working at it and you do those great things, allow those to define you and to help make you confident. So you guys are just dropping the mics all over the place. I was like, and this is what's so cool, you know. The last thing before you head on out, what if Dina goes and watches this later, right? What encouraging word or thank yous or anything do you have for Dina? Message you have?
I would like to tell her, you got this. You're doing great. I believe in you, and I'm standing with you for this journey. This is a great thing, and I'm really supportive of it. Go you, sis, you know?
I love it. Go you, sis. That's it right there. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Bibi. And can't wait to see you out there doing your thing, girl.
Thank you.
Sounds like games are coming sometime soon.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Bye, Bibi.
Bye.
All right, guys. Let's go ahead. There we go. All right, guys. So that is it for our guests. Like I said, stay on. I've got one more video for you guys to watch. That's from Equal Playing Field. That's super amazing. So you guys can kind of see, like I said, what's going to be amazing is that this is just the kickoff, okay? In the next 24 hours around the world, okay? There are going to be interviews just like this from people all over the world. So no matter where, even for those of you that don't know, there are people who are tuning in right now who they don't live in Los Angeles. And I think that that's the coolest thing is that as yes, there are other challenges during this pandemic, you know, there is definitely the silver lining that, hey, we're all connected and we're all cheering Dina, who's in Bahrain. You know, we all get to cheer her on and connect and really encourage each other about our mental toughness. So just wrapping this out, guys, just make sure that you head over to equalplayingfield.com, okay? And that will give you all the give you all the info for all the speakers that are coming up. Like I said, there's former national players, professional. We've got psychologists from the men's England national team, that's going to be on, a really predominant journalist, where the interviewer is now going to become the interviewee. All right. We've got a coaches roundtable. The very next one that's going to be coming up is actually going to be speakers from Pakistan and India. Okay. And so again, if you're like me, you know, this is such a great opportunity to be exposed and to be connected to players and people that love the game around the world. Okay. So this last video that I'm going to show you guys, all right, just has to is kind of the epitome of equal playing field, that any girl anywhere should have access to play. So no matter where you are tuning in from around the world, I really hope that this video inspires you. And then we'll take one last pop into Dina and then we'll be out, guys. All right. So let me go ahead and just get this video prepped, and then you guys can have a look at this amazing video. All right. All right, guys. So I always love that video just because it just gives you that perspective that any girl anywhere can come in and hopefully have access to this really great sport that really develops a lot. I think one thing that's really cool about sport is, like I said, how much it really can parallel life. And so really, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on the next ones. I cannot wait to watch all of these live streams that are going to be coming down the pipeline, as it were. Like I said, the next one is How Football Brings Nations Together, hosted by national team player Abina Haidar from Pakistan and Yuwa from India. Oh, yeah, there we go. And team leader Shivani, which I love her. She did henna on my hand. She's amazing. She's definitely an equal playing field sister. The next one after that, guys, will be Psychosocial Support and Psychology of the Game with Dr. Pippa Grange from the UK and former national team player Mariana Haddad from Jordan. That's hosted by Maggie Murphy. Rugby versus football, the challenges women face in both sports with Atlanta St. John, hosted by Laura Youngston. Then we've got Interviewing the Interviewer. I told you guys about that. Susie Rack of The Guardian, UK, hosted by Maggie Murphy. Then this is really cool. A View from Latin America with Marissa from Mexico, Mabel from Ecuador, Romina from Mexico, and Sophie from Argentina. Really, really amazing. And then a few more. Beth Barrett, Wild. We've had The Journey for Equal Pay in Cricket, 100 competition. Stacey Copeland, From Footballer to Boxing World Champion in the UK. That sounds amazing. Sports Psychology with Manon Eloury from France. And Goalkeeper Perspective. Guys, can you imagine a whole bunch of goalkeepers talking about their tricks of the trade mentality? Super duper cool. With Megan Kinnaman from the US, Teresa Laudat from Jordan, Natalia Taja from Mexico. Okay. And then last thing, Penalty Madness. Australia joins in the fun, which is super cool. We've got another incredible woman who is actually celebrating her 60th birthday. She was a part of the Jordan Quest, and she's going to be joining in on seeing how many PKs she can take in an hour. And the last thing, wrapping up the evening, will be the Coaches Roundtable. That's with Sasha Andrews, Megan Kinman, Marissa Gonzalez, and myself, as well as hosted by Aaron Blankenship. So anyways, guys, we've got packed, super incredible content just ready for you guys. So make sure to stay tuned. Check out also Equal Playing Field Initiative on Twitter and Instagram, so you guys can, make sure to follow up with the schedules. And then, is there a way to see the live tally of PKs? So I thought that would be an incredible idea. Right now, that's a no. I know that, I was just getting some of the tally marks from the co-founder of Equal Playing Field, from Aaron. And basically the first hour, Dina's already gotten 350 penalty kicks, which is well above her goal of 100 penalty kicks per hour. But you guys know as well as I do, probably by the 13th, 14th hour, that's when that mental toughness and grit will really need to shine. Like I said, right over here, it's nighttime, but over there, it's still 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's a long journey yet to go. Just to finish it out, we'll do one more check-in on Dina live from Bahrain, and then we'll be out, guys. So here she is again. This is a new keeper change. The coolest thing, guys, is that, I love it. She's doing a back heel one. I love it. The keepers actually are saving it, are trying to save it, which is cool. So I'll get that feedback later. What I'd love to know, is it penalty kicks that are made or just penalty kicks? That'll be an interesting one. But as you can see, the goalkeepers are going to be working hard. Oh, there's the ref. Got in a little goal. But again, guys, she's over there at the Techers Academy in Bahrain. Just Dina crushing it, killing it. She's amazing. So there is that live stream that is going on, the whole 24 hours. Maybe I can talk to Equal Playing Field about sharing that link for those of you guys that maybe want to watch that live feed or just check in. But thank you guys so much for joining us on the challenge kickoff. You guys are amazing. I can't wait to see all the next speakers that are coming. And just stay mentally tough and flexible, as Coach Kevin said out there, guys. And remember, what we're fighting for, you know, is that opportunity, equality, and respect. Nothing more, nothing less. All right, guys, take care out there.